Firstly, I want to begin this live stream and welcome everyone by sharing gratitude, thanks, appreciation, and respectful reverence to the donors, to the protectors, to the volunteers. What some people may know and what some people may not know is that an essential practice of monastics, of sadhus, of brahmacharyas, people that willingly renounce the sexual life and also the business development life, is that everything is given, everything is donated, everything is offered, whether that be materials, whether that be housing, shelter, clothing, food, resources, monies, Dharma instruments, tools for practicing the Dharma and also sharing the Dharma with others. In the world of the business people, especially concerned with men, in the world of businessmen and in the world of physical strength and testosterone, there is a kind of primal psychology that is based on control over resources and is also based on control over access to women. And this leads to and has established a society that one way or another is built on the mutual cooperation of competition. And the sadhu or the monk or the yogi or the renunciate is able to be outside of that model, not because they're going around enlightening people, but actually because of the generosity of the well-minded men and women of good faith and good natures to give, to support. To sacrifice. There are a variety of, I don't know what I would call these people, followers, students, generous benefactors, Dharma protectors, donors who support regularly monks and nuns throughout the world, including myself. And allow this path to be wide open. And it gives a lot of inspiration and encouragement as well, I know, to the monks and nuns when we receive donations, when we receive support, to see that this life doesn't need to be about trying to get what we want, but actually, and I've been talking with some of the natural Indian people in this area, by being willing to give up what we have, and by being willing to sacrifice what we have, and actually to use our body, to use our mind, to use our resources for the others. In the recent Dharma talk that I gave on the topic of a rose, we were being offered some late night soup. And I spoke that this soup that is offered to me is being taken in not for myself, but for everyone. This body and this mind is for everyone. And that doesn't mean that I'm led along into dark alleyways by people who come by. What it means is that I'm willing to give up the view of self at this moment, willing to experiment with that, willing to explore that, willing to give up the future, willing to give up the past, willing to give up whatever I can. And as we become more serious in this path of spirituality, it's not a matter of consuming. This is not connected or not related to the most popular religion in the world. As a monk, I saw a monk post on Facebook recently, he said this. They said this. The most popular religion in the world is consumerism. And I know that many of our friends, people who come across these live streams, which is another topic I want to explore, may have a wrong approach in experiencing this, in viewing this live as it being something to consume. But really, this is an opportunity to give. And as we make more use of these teachings and more use of these perspectives and these views, which can be exceedingly romantic, really, I mean, and also exceedingly clear, we have to take up the responsibility of a position concerned with the Dhamma or the Dharma or the path. And for many of us, we may not be able to go to stay at a meditation center for a particular period of time. We may not be able to volunteer at a meditation center or at a Buddhist temple. But we should practice giving. We should practice donating. We should practice taking up the responsibility of self-sacrifice. And although you may not be in the position to become a monk or a nun or a full-time volunteer or a yogi or to stay at the meditation center, it's still important that you find a way to practice this. So there are a variety of people that make donations regularly to me as a monk because they follow my teachings or because they would like to support my life as a monk and my work and my practice and my path. My grandma and grandpa are one of them. And so they make regular donations through PayPal. Even a few people have kind of make donations through Patreon. Now, you don't get anything for that. You don't get a special treatment. You don't get one-on-one time with Bhante. You don't get anything for that, and it's kind of the point. Approaching the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha from a place of giving, a kind of faith and devotion, if you will, that is not based on what you get from it. Now, why do we have to talk about money? Why do we have to talk about donating? Why do we have to talk about service or volunteering? Because our lives are invested in taking. Our lives are invested in keeping for ourselves. Our lives are invested in using this body and this mind for ourselves. And because these habit energies and this culture is so strong within us and around us, generosity is a chain breaker. We may have many ideals, high ideals about enlightenment and about spiritual truth and about becoming powerful spiritually or being around spiritual people or being recognized by other people. And all of this is in the realm of ego. But what the ego doesn't like to do is give. It doesn't like to sacrifice. It doesn't like to experience loss. So we, as practitioners on this path, we have to be willing to experience loss. We have to feel the moderate breeze of loss. And as much as that moderate breeze of loss is open to us and we can be satiated by it, we can also become more and more free. Not because life or the path is about losing something, but rather because we are so bound up in gaining something, in getting something from this talk, from these eyes, from these ears, from this nose, from this body and mind, within ourselves. The great self, the true self that has no separation in it, just like in nature, there's no, take the view of nature. Take the view of the sky, take the view of the grasslands. Take the view of the water, take the view of the fire, take the view of the earth. There's no separation in it. And if we as Western people, or if we as those who approach freedom cannot give up, give away, sacrifice this seeking after getting something, we cannot go anywhere on the spiritual path. We can't get any success on the spiritual path. So we have to give that up. And we should practice with that seriously and realistically and practically as much as we can. To give, to share, to listen, to release, to relax, to surrender, to volunteer, to crawl on all fours in the streets of India. But we're so arrogant. We always want the big shebang. We always want to be the king of the castle. We always want to tell everyone else what to do. And that pride is not going anywhere anytime soon. So we have to learn how to work with that pride in a practical way, through practicing generosity, through making donations regularly, through volunteering regularly, through surrendering regularly. And once we kind of get into that flow of investment, the precepts open up more. They widen out more. To see the importance not only of what we do, but what we don't do. And it's a classic spiritual trope to practice the way of the brahmacharya, or the way of renouncing the life of sexuality. But there are a lot of benefits to this. Being willing to put down what we pick up, what we hold in our hand that is known to be pleasurable, known to be enjoyable, and to say, okay, here it is. Here's my face, here's my mouth, here's my eyes, here's my ears, here's my nose, here's my body, here's my mind, and to put it down. If we don't develop not just our own personal practice of the basics, but an environment that is conducive and supportive to the basics of giving, of serving, of volunteering, of helping, of sharing, of letting go, of releasing, as much as we can in a practical, simple, stable, ethical way, then even to speak about meditation is kind of disingenuous. Because what's going to be presented is that, and what's going to be perceived is that if I do this, I will get that. If I practice meditation, I will get the enlightenment, or I will get the success. It's not true. Meditation is very good. It's very wholesome. It's very beneficial. It's an integral part of the path. But the path is not about getting something. It's about letting go of the drive to get. These live streams that happen spontaneously are about letting go of the drive to get, erroneously, consistently, vehemently, in the midst of and together with everything. So this is the Dharma talk on giving, practically concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and how this opens the door for virtuous living, or following the precepts closely, seeing the value in precepts, which unless we give, unless we practice to donate, unless we practice to volunteer, unless we practice to serve, these precepts will just be about losing out on something. So we have to get the generosity down first. The generosity concerned with wisdom, the teachings on wisdom, the community of wisdom, the embodiment of wisdom, that is the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And we'll now open up for some questions. Let's start with Tennessee's question. Bhante, how do you let go of the wrongs done to you, especially when you still feel their effects and they permeate all aspects of your life? As human beings, we have a big brain. And a big brain means we have a big responsibility. If our problems become big, our life needs to become bigger. There is a sense within everyone of looking for some ideal situation, some ideal relationship, some ideal environment. But that ideal is just a dream, just a notion, just an idea, in the same way that our lives are just an idea. These things, these people, these situations, these experiences are not ours. They're not possessed by you, they're not possessed by me. Not to speak of the mind, even the body. Cancer, sickness, old age, and death are not possessed by anyone. And when we are stuck in this notion of possessor, we're possessed by these things, by these stories, by these people, by these places, by these situations, by these voices, by these spirits, by these experiences. And in as much as we hold on to an ideal of a particular environment. An ideal here means something that's permanent, something that's going to satisfy us, something that is separate, this separate thing that is this ideal. As much as we cling to that, we are bound not just in the positive aspects, but in the negative aspects as well. And this work on the path is not to be bound up in positive or negative aspects. Now, we can't say there's free will or there's no free will or there's no positivity or there's no negativity. Rather, it is that all these different elements inter-are in a grand cosmological, universal field. And this is the field of awareness. So going out, stepping out into this bigger picture, this picture that is bigger than our problems, is not out there, is also not in here, but is this universal field of awareness that is permeating everything, every place, every situation, every experience, every phenomena, every thought is permeated by this field of awareness. So in this way, in this path, we come back to this field of awareness and we take refuge in that. All of the things, the sights, sounds, smells, touches, tastes, thoughts, involvements of mind, are free to come and go. We don't make judgments about them. We don't try to control them. As a practitioner, we don't try to get rid of them. But rather we forgive them. Those thoughts, those sensations in the body, those situations in our lives. And we do that by using our wealth, using our resources to step out into, from this field of awareness, concerned with the community of virtue, generosity, and wisdom. And the bigger the problem, the more bravery, the more energy, the more heart that one needs to put into this willingness to step out into a field of awareness that is not about anything or anyone already. And that is the joy, that is the happiness, the true happiness of being on the path, is that this is already not about anyone. This is already not about anything. So all of these things, all of these people, all of these traumas, all of these perpetrators and victims within our mind are already perfectly free from being permanent, from being reliable, from being anything at all. Now, to take refuge in that within oneself is true meditation, or meditation that is not based on someone doing something. And we all have access to that, in as much as we are not someone's. But the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha are here to help us as Westerners, to help us as men, to help us as women, to help us as older people, to help us as younger people, to help us as wealthy people, to help us as people who are more in poverty. And just in the same way that one with cancer may step out from their hoarded nest of possessions and frustrated compulsive activities, one with a deep awareness about the suffering within their mind and within their life may also step out to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, as I have, and as you may also, here and now. Okay. Next question. And so with this sense of refuge, or with this sense of safety and support, bring attention or focus, or the mind, bring whatever is there to a sense of closeness with breathing. Whatever thoughts arise, whatever worries arise, come back to this closeness with breathing and take refuge in that. Feel the safety of that. Feel the reality of that as well. Come back to breathing. Follow the breath as it flows in. Feel the breath flowing in wherever the breath happens to be, noticeable. Take refuge in the breath, not in thinking. Be brave, be loving, be kind, be forgiving, be open to the experience as it is right now through breathing. See through breathing. Hear through breathing. Feel through breathing. Don't make any judgment about the position of your body or the mind. Don't take any position of judgment about your life or the lives of others through breathing. Experiment with breathing, finding a way that's comfortable, finding a way that's enjoyable, finding a way that's free already. Not in the south, not in the north, just here where we are. With what is. Concerned with free will, we have the free will as much as we have the capacity to give. As much as you as an individual have a relationship with making donations, as much as you as an individual have a relationship with volunteering, with serving, with surrendering to the needs of others, you have free will. As much as you do not, then you do not have free will. You are just controlled by compulsive craving and aversion, or desire and fear. So free will is nothing, just a matter of realistic view concerned with not being controlled by external factors, being able to navigate internal factors in a way that's not compulsive and not completely selfish or grasping in nature. concerned with psychedelics, from my experience and from my knowledge about the topic, and from the work of modern Western psychology and also tribal psychology, there is a use for psychedelics in terms of healing and in terms of broadening the mind in some capacity. But psychedelics are not particularly useful for long-term development on the spiritual path. This is because consuming to get is not what the spiritual path is about. Not consuming, not getting. Here is where we already are. So what can we give, not what can we take? Most of the people I've come across in the world of psychedelics either have used them in the past and gotten some success, so they don't focus much on using them now, or people have been kind of deceived into this notion that the psychedelics or the substances themselves are helping them to develop spiritually, and this is just not correct. This is a kind of major confusion. The greatest psychedelic factory that exists in the planet Earth, on the planet Earth, is your own brain. So you have to learn how to work with your own brain, your own body, your own mind, and that work is just a matter of finding, not finding, or releasing, not releasing in the here and now, which is not here and not now, not something, not someone. Okay, do we have any other questions? So just give the mind to breathing. Breathing is silence adjacent. So give the mind to breathing, and when thoughts or things or places or people or situations, when thoughts take away the mind from breathing, give the mind back to breathing. This practice is not about being someone, not about going somewhere, not about understanding something, not about fixing or solving some problem, not believing anything. Not really a practice at all. If it's a practice of anything, it's just being human. And to be human is to breathe. Coming back to breathing, coming back to humanity, together with everything, coming back and blooming beyond something, blooming beyond someone, blooming beyond some place and time, together with everything. Being, breathing, So practice forgiveness with and through breathing. Give and receive the breath of forgiveness. Every difficult thought or feeling or sensation is to be breathed through and forgiven through, together with everything, breathing in, breathing out, happening in a way that is safe and comfortable and enjoyable. Let's come together with ending some Tibetan Buddhist chanting. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Sa